Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Simply Be Sustainable. My name is Brooke Chase, and I am your host, and I'm very excited about today's episode. Today, we are talking about food waste. Now, some of you may remember I had a cooking show called Simply Be Cookin'. It was over COVID, and really, the premise of it was to kind of introduce how to avoid food waste. So we're going to dive into that a little bit today. But basically, like when I was a kid growing up, my mom never wasted anything. And I don't know why that really resonated with me so much, but I do not waste like anything in the kitchen. I don't waste any food, and it is a huge, huge pet peeve of mine. And I will tell you, my simple confession is that I will embarrassingly go to great lengths to avoid wasting any kind of food. If I don't want to eat it, if it's not even like I will not waste food. Like I will eat anything as long as we don't waste it. So today we're going to talk about some better ways and strategies for how to avoid food waste. And then we're going to go a little bit farther next week. We're going to talk to Maria of Core Compost, which is a company that I absolutely love. And we're going to deep dive into composting and ask her our burning compost questions and all of those things. But today, we're going to start with the simple truth of food waste. And so here are some of those simply astonishing numbers, you guys. Do you know that a third of all of the world's food is thrown away in the garbage? Okay. The average American throws away $2,000 worth of food a year. $2,000. I can tell you, I ain't throwing away $2,000 worth of food. Globally, we waste about 1 billion tons of food, according to UNEP, that's United Nations Environment Program. And between homes, restaurants, shops, 17% of all produced food is thrown away. It's estimated that food waste coming from households alone amounts up to 163 pounds per person each year. It is also estimated that 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions are associated with the food that is not consumed. And to put that into perspective, this is crazy, you guys. If food waste was a country, it would have the third highest greenhouse gas emissions in the world on the planet. 1 in 8 Americans experiences food insecurity, and while $200 billion is being spent on food, 1 billion pounds of food is wasted instead of going to those who need it, and about 40% of food produced, processed, and transported in the United States is wasted and ends up in our landfills. Wasted food is draining our natural resources, our wallets, and our communities. So why does this matter? It matters because there are so many starving people and so much wasted money, and it could all be solved by just being a little smarter about not wasting our food. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about how to stop throwing food away. And that is literally your simple swap. Just stop throwing away your food. And by doing all the things that we're going to talk about today. So here are some of the things that I and anyone can reduce their food waste. And the first thing, I have a friend that we talked with her once before on Planetize about organizing your pantry. But if you do a little inventory before you go to the store so that you don't purchase things that you've already got, that is like a huge thing for me. Like I hate when I go to the store and I'll buy like avocados or something, then I don't really need avocados. So if you just take a quick glance, and if you already have things organized, that you can do it much quicker. But like I put my cans of things in like an order, so I can see of anything that I have, I can see how much of it I have just by like opening it or looking at it. So that's the first thing, is know what you have before you buy more of it. Don't buy more than what you need, especially if it's something that does go bad. Compost. I am like obsessed with composting. I didn't do it for the longest time because it was very intimidating to me, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more about that because it is so like not intimidating. It's so easy. And obviously, like, look at what's in your fridge and eat the things that are going bad first and cook it first. And to me, this is pretty much like how I cook. And I find that some of my best dishes and that my most creative things were because I was like, all right, well, I have this and it's going to go bad. And I obviously can't allow that. And like, what can I cook with it that also is like needs to be cooked? And I don't know, that's just how I operate. So definitely do that. Another thing, and I think next week we're also going to talk about like some recipes for that. So if you're thirsting for that, let me know like some of the things that you have that go bad and I'll use that for my recipes. But yeah, buy the ugly food. So I haven't done the whole Misfits thing, but I know when I used to shop at Pathmark back in the day, they would have like a whole section of that. Um, so if your local grocery store or whatever has food that's like ugly or it's going bad or whatever, I don't know, I always try to look at those first. And so that way they get used instead of being thrown away. Grow a garden so that way you pick it as it's done and you can eat it much more fresh. A lot of times the food that you get from the grocery store has already been, en route to you for quite some time. So it's not as fresh. Store food properly so that it lasts longer. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Cook with leftovers. So I have always said, like, if you don't like leftovers, I don't know you. I don't understand that world because to me, leftovers are my favorite thing. One, I get to eat the delicious thing that I already cooked. And two, I don't have to cook it. And three, just about everything tastes better next day or like depending on what it is, third day. Like I had a friend, there wasn't even any salad dressing and she didn't want the lettuce. And I took this giant thing of salad and oh my God, you guys, it didn't even need any salad dressing because all the fruits and vegetables that were in it, just like the lettuce absorbed those flavors. It was like the best salad I ever had in my life. Oh, it was a chef salad. That's right. So there was like cheese and meat and it's fantastic. Anyway, so, and if you don't like leftovers, find you a friend that does, because let me tell you, we out there and we gonna eat it. Okay. I'm gonna eat it. If you bring it to my house, I'm gonna eat it. And if I don't eat it, the next thing on the list is freeze stuff. Pretty much not like everything, but like if it's gonna go bad, sometimes I'll just stick it in the freezer just to see what happens. Like there's no rules. You can't like not freeze something. And my newest thing was like I froze yogurt or like I don't know, I freeze cheese. If I think I'm gonna have people over and do like charcuterie board and then I don't, I just stick it in the freezer and it's like good for whenever. Not all cheese is like great for after it's frozen, but you don't know until you try it. So it's better if you're gonna throw it away anyway, just try to stick it in the freezer and see what happens. um Okay, so be better about freezing things before they go bad and then make scrappy recipes. So like if you have something that's going bad, just like look up a recipe that has it for the scraps. I just found and like a lot of people eat like a lot of the same things. So like if you're somebody that makes here's just like an example. If you're somebody that makes you peel potatoes often. I'm going to tell you about a girl that I love to follow. It's called Going Zero Waste, and she does all kinds of these recipes. But she just did one recently where you basically take the skins and like sprinkle salt on them and put them in the oven and roast them, and they make like a crispy potato skin treat. Oh my God, it sounds fantastic to me. So things like that. She'll make like cleaner out of lemons, like composting, while it's great, doesn't necessarily have to be the next thing that you do with food that's going bad. Because even though you're composting it, you're still like not eating what the thing is, right? So there's so many things that we can do with our scraps and our leftovers. So, just kind of do a little Google search or check out her recipes. Again, it's Going Zero Waste, and she is amazing. She has recipes, repurposing hacks, all kinds of stuff. And then storage. So I will tell you a little hack that I'll say is you can revive a lot of vegetables just by like soaking them in water. So a lot of things like carrots, celery, kale, you store like flowers, right? So like you'll cut the bottom off so it can absorb the water, and you'll stick it in a jar with water, and then you can either leave it on the counter or put it in the refrigerator. But like carrot, celery, and kale specifically last like forever. But I've had like a head of broccoli be droopy and gross and saggy. So I cut the bottom off, stuck it in some water, and it was revived in just a short amount of time. Same with lettuce, we'll do that. Beets I did once. That was interesting. I put the beet in a cup and it expanded so big that it was like stuck in the cup. I got it out and it was delicious. And it was like hard. Like it was like hard like a beet, and it was mushy and like meh. So stuff like that, just try stuff. Berries you can keep in an airtight container, and only wash them when you're ready to eat them. I did recently see a hack on papaya where you can add like vinegar and water and kind of wash them that way, and then you add the Swedish towel to the bottom, and that's supposed to make them keep really well too. But I have those glass things that keep it airtight, and strawberries last a really long time in there. Onions and potatoes store in a cool, dark place and separately. I never quite listened to the separately part because I have a small place and it does cause problems. So do keep them separate if you're able, and don't forget about them, because let me tell you, if you forget about some potatoes and they gone bad, it is going to be real bad. That is the worst smell ever, y'all. Oh my God, do not do that. I did that once when I was like in my early 20s. It was pretty hilarious. Okay, what else? Cauliflower, broccoli, zucchini, squash, avocados, stuff like that. I just leave in the drawer. I don't keep my stuff in like bags because I like to be able to see what it is. Because I find that if I can't see what it is, I'll forget to eat it. So that's just another one of my little tricks. I grow a lot of my herbs, which I think is amazing to do. But if you do buy herbs, typically they can also be cut at the bottom and stored in a glass, or you can put like a plastic bag over top. And it kind of gives them that little greenhouse effect. Different ones grow different or stay good longer in different ways. Like I've seen like the paper towel trick where you roll them up. So just look up, whatever it is that you purchase often, and maybe like write it down and stick it on the freezer or on the outside of, not the freezer, I'm sorry, the outside of the refrigerator. So that way you can kind of remember. But yeah, it's just like taking an extra minute to look and see what is the best way that I can store it, and try the different ways and see, what works the best for you. So yeah, these are just some simple tips to avoiding waste, and, a little bit of planning. I am not a food planner, but if I buy only what I'm going to cook, then I won't, it's sort of like having less of anything, like less clothes, less whatever. If you have a little bit, you're gonna eat it, as opposed to when you have a lot of food that you don't have time to eat, and then it just ends up getting wasted, right? So it's the same kind of like minimalist, simple concept. And if you have questions, or if you have like something in particular that often goes bad on you, please send me a message, because I would love to be like your troubleshooter and be like, oh, what do this? Right? So you can follow me at simp.lee.b. I'm pretty much everywhere now. TikTok, Venmo, I'm kidding. But yeah, simply B16 is like my thing, with various dots in there because shit's taken. Yeah, so your simple swap of the week is don't throw food away. Do some of these things, donate it, give it to a friend, stick it in the freezer, make soup, get creative. Like, let's just not waste our food here, people. So that is what you're going to do. Now, beer of the week is Pacifico. So it was just my birthday, and we were drinking Pacifico at the pool, and it is so good. And I recently discovered that they even have a program for, it's called Pacifico. Bleh. Pacifico preserves for like national parks and things like that, which I absolutely love. And it is just a great drinkable beer. I really like it. That's your beer of the week, Pacifico. And then here's your little commercial. Guys, I have not had any frownies for probably 2 months because I said to myself, I'm not going to buy frownies until enough people buy frownies from me that I'm going to get a free box. And it finally happened. I had enough frownies to buy myself a new box of frownies. So thank you all so, so much. If you use code SIMPLE, you get 10% off and I get 10% too. And I was starting to get some deeper wrinkles, you guys. It was coming back with a vengeance. And so I was very excited to get my frownies box. And I used them. I put them on last night, slept in them, and I wore them until I did the show. So I wore them for like a while. And you guys, it like did the trick. So I'm very, very pleased with that. I thought it was going to be, I mean, it's always the more you use it, it's like working out, but frownies, man, gotta love me some frownies. Clear stem, my face is super friggin' clear, and that is all thanks to Clear Stem. My code for that is my name, Brooke Chase, and also you get a discount and I get a little bit of commission, but this product really has changed my life. I basically don't really have to worry about it anymore. Like I haven't had any crazy breakouts. My gut is, I mean, it's just, it comes from the gut apparently, which I did not know because I eat pretty well. So I don't really know what I was doing wrong, but Clear Stem fixed it, whatever it is. Again, code Brooks. If you have any troubles with hormonal acne, I just turned 40 and I've been dealing with mine for about 20 years now. So 20 years of hormonal acne, problem solved, you guys. Clear Stem is the shit. All right, I have a joke for you guys, and this is related to my birthday because I love a good pirate joke. What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? I'm 80. Get it? Matey. I'm 80. I crack myself up. All right, so this is your episode, you guys. So please, if you have any questions, send them to me. Oh, I have another confession. I also do not use produce bags when I go to the store. Do you guys think that's gross? I'm going to wash it anyways. What's the point of putting it in a plastic bag? I put it in a bag, but it's not like a special produce bag. It's a bag. Anyways, that's another one for you. You guys are like, she's gross. Nah. Thank you all so much for listening. It means the world to me to be able to impact you guys to create a little less waste. I'm going to have some sources in the show notes. Please follow Going Zero Waste for a lot of these. One of the resources that I used for this show is her blog that says Ways to Avoid Simple Waste. And I just think she's absolutely fantastic. She's an activist. She's amazing. Please follow Going Zero Waste. All right. And that's the show for you guys today. So please do not throw your friggin' food away. And that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Simply be sustainable, y'all. Bye.